Unveiling the new look of Guinness. Discover a colorful world of more.
Well, time for our sports news now with Olumide.
Thanks, Eli. Hello and welcome on Sports News tonight. In football, reigning champions Mexico and three-time tournament winners Nigeria will lock horns in the final of the FIFA Under-17 World Cup. This highly anticipated clash will be the second time the teams have faced each other at this year's tournament, with both having emerged from the same group. Nigeria has scored 23 goals thus far, have not lost any game in the tournament, and are on the verge of winning the title for the fourth time. The match offers Mexico the chance to avenge their 6-1 humiliation against the Golden Eaglets in their opening game. At the tourney, the match will kick off 5 p.m. Nigerian time. England manager Roy Hodgson backed goalkeeper Joe Hart to regain top form, but will take the opportunity to look at understudies Fraser Forster or John Ruddy in this month's friendlies against Chile and Germany. Now, Hart has been left out of Manchester City's last two matches, but Hodgson said he would only be worried by the situation if the 26-year-old was still out of the team and not playing regularly by next March or April. Hodgson called for uncapped Southampton striker Jay Rodriguez for the first time, one of three Saints players in the 28-man squad, along with fellow frontman Ricky Lambert, who scored twice in 3 internationals, and winger Adam Lallana. In tennis, a razor-sharp Roger Federer got back to winning ways at the ATP World Tour Finals with a 6-4, 6-4 defeat of Frenchman Richard Gasquet to keep alive his last 4 chances. Under pressure after losing to favorite Novak Djokovic in his opening Group B match, the Swiss 6-time former champion looked much more like his old majestic self. Federer will now face Argentine Juan Martin del Potro on Saturday with high hopes. And that's Sports News tonight. The news at 10 continues.
Unveiling the new look of Guinness. Discover a colorful world of more.
Well, President Goodluck Jonathan will embark on a 2-day visit to Guinea-Bissau and the Gambia tomorrow, Friday, November the 8th. In continuation of his duties as chairperson of the ECOWAS Contact Group of Guinea-Bissau, the president is expected to meet with leaders of the armed forces of Guinea-Bissau as well as the Nigerian contingent in the ECOWAS mission at Camp Bras, Bissau. A statement by his special advisor on media and publicity, Dr. Ruben Abati, reveals that the president will leave the country on Friday for Banjul, the Gambia, for a discussion with President Yahya Jammeh on bilateral issues. He's expected back in Abuja on Saturday. Hundreds of Britons have staged a protest near the UK Parliament over what they describe as inhumane austerity measures. The protest, organised under the umbrella of the People's Parliament, drew citizens of all ages to Westminster in protest over health insurance cuts, steep energy to the poor, among other issues. Major highlight of the protest was the burning of bills, a clear sign of disagreement with the harsh realities in the country. Our London correspondent Doris Okenwa, who was at the scene, tells us more.
They braved the chilly night breeze. With their sights set on the Parliament, they marched on, resolute in their demands. The protest is convened by the People's Assembly, and campaigners are highlighting what they describe as a human cost of government's programs that has led to the decimation of local services, frozen wages, and the benefits that go to the poor have been greatly reduced as well. This is reminiscent of the fuel subsidy protests in Nigeria in January 2012.
The economy is growing, the government says, but for most people their wages are falling. The government's cutting spending across the country. I work in a hospital, they're closing the A&E. We want to stand up and say it's not necessary. It's bailing out the rich and making the poor pay for their mistakes.
The military budget in Britain, the fourth largest military budget in the world, is £45 billion. That would be enough to wipe out the cuts that they're proposing to the NHS twice over.
40 towns and cities across the UK saw the bonfire of austerity protests organised symbolically on the famous 5th of November in commemoration of Guy Fawkes' Night and the foiled gunpowder plot of 1605. The mass occupation of London's Westminster Bridge, right at the edge of Parliament, was the major stage for the protests, though under the watchful gaze of police officers.
Well, 6 days after the death of Hakimullah Mehsud, the Pakistani Taliban now have a new leader. He is Maulana Fazlullah. Fazlullah is a hardline chief from the Swat area whose men reportedly shot schoolgirl Malala Yousafzai. Late leader Hakimullah Mehsud was killed when measles struck his vehicle in the North Waziristan region on November the 1st. After the drone attack, Pakistan's government accused the US of destroying its attempts to start peace talks with the Taliban. And the main news again, the Senate has approved the President's request for an extension of the state of emergency in Adamawa, Borno and Yobe states. That's the news at 10 tonight. Thank you for watching.